Good evening and welcome back. What you just heard in that exchange with Kash Patel was not just a heated back and forth, it was a carefully constructed argument about power, accountability, and how federal law is enforced in the United States. Before we go any further, if you want clear breakdowns of major hearings like this without the spin, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss what comes next.
Mr. Director, worry not, we'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon to be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Reid.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Director. As you're well aware, DOJ
At the center of this moment is a Wisconsin judge who was arrested for allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant avoid federal custody. Kash Patel confirmed that the arrest was based on a belief that federal law had been violated and that field agents made the decision to open the case. That matters because it speaks directly to how the federal government views its authority over state officials. The question being asked here is simple on the surface. Can a state judge decide which federal laws apply to them? The answer Patel gives is no, and that is a long-standing legal principle known as federal supremacy. Federal law, when valid, overrides state-level resistance, even when the person involved is a judge. This is where the exchange becomes more than just about one arrest. The senator pivots to a broader argument about equal treatment under the law. The point being made is that no one, not a private citizen, not a government employee, and not a judge, gets to opt out of federal law without consequences. Whether you agree with that arrest or not, the implication is clear. If laws are enforced selectively, public trust in the system erodes. If you are finding this kind of explanation useful, go ahead and subscribe now so you can keep getting context that is often missing from viral clips. The conversation then shifts to Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, two federal officials whose private messages became a political flashpoint during the Trump era. Patel confirms what the Inspector General found, that both officials expressed strong personal opposition to Trump and support for Hillary Clinton while working on sensitive investigations. The senator highlights text messages suggesting a belief that Trump would be stopped from becoming president, which critics argue undermined the appearance of neutrality at the FBI. This part of the exchange is doing something important. It is drawing a comparison between how different government actors are treated when they violate rules or laws.